Civil rights attorney Ben Crump joins us now. As we mentioned, he represents George Floyd's family and Daunte Wright's family as well. Good morning, Ben. I want to start with the testimony that we heard yesterday. You know, we heard that expert use the words resting comfortably. He was certainly called on that. What he said is that the restraints were justified. That's the exact opposite of what the prosecutor said last week. And at one point, he said police don't have to fight fair. What did you make of his testimony yesterday?
I thought it was a desperate attempt to distract us. We all saw Gayle, George Floyd face down, handcuffed, posing no threat to those officers. What he was trying to do was to breathe. He was trying to extend his life. And if that is a resisting arrest, I guess we all do that, Gayle. We all want to extend life. That's all George Floyd desperately was trying to do, was take another breath.
Mr. Crump, the judge says that closing arguments are expected next week, so I suppose it's not too soon to start talking about how the case is going and what you think the conclusion will be. We should remind people that you and your team need 12 jurors to vote guilty to get a conviction here. The defense only needs one to say no, not guilty. With that in mind, how do you think things are going?
Well, I think Attorney General Keith Ellison and his team of prosecutors are making a very compelling case why Derek Chauvin should be held criminally liable for killing George Floyd. But as I've said before, I've been a civil rights attorney for the balance of my professional career, but I've been black all my life. And I know we can never, ever take for granted in America that a police officer will be held accountable for killing a black person unjustly, no matter how much evidence we have.
Mr. Crump, I want to talk about the shooting of Daunte Wright for a second. The officer who fired the shot, Kim Potter, a veteran officer, resigned yesterday. What do you make of that decision?
Well, like Daunte's family, we don't think it's fair that she can kill him and say, I made a mistake, and then resign and keep all her benefits, all her pensions. No, she should be held accountable to the full extent of the law. The fact that she's a 26-year veteran who, Gayle, Tony, Anthony, she was training officers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her duty weapon is on her dominant hand side. Her taser is on her non-dominant hand side. The duty weapon weighs 2.6 pounds. The taser weighs 8 ounces. The taser has a very bright yellow strip on it. The gun is all black. And I'm sorry, she did not have to even tase this young man. It was a misdemeanor warrant. They always seem to do the most, engage in the most excessive use of force when it's a marginalized minority. And George Floyd, they could have given him a ticket for this allegation of a $20 fraudulent bill. They could have given him a ticket. They did not have to arrest him. But when it's black people, they seem to engage in the most excessive force, just like the lieutenant in Virginia.
Yeah, I think it's so important to keep reminding people that the George Floyd case started with a counterfeit bill. We don't even know if he knew it was counterfeit. And in the Daunte Wright case, it started with an expired tag. They found that he had a misdemeanor, and it escalated into that. I think it's very important to remind people that these were such minor things that turned deadly so quickly. I want to talk about the families, because you represent both families who now belong to a club that nobody wants to belong to. These are different cases, but the emotions are certainly the same, and the feelings are the same, and the circumstances are similar. It looked to me it was like a summit of sorrow to see the two families together. What did they say to each other, and how do you think that how did they help each other? It had to be on some level comforting to be able to talk face to face.
No, Gayle King, that's an excellent way to define it, a summit of sorrow, because George Floyd's family, about this time last year, was dealing with this unthinkable intrusion into their lives. And now they are having to tell Daunte Wright's mother, father, his baby's mother, what they're going to have to endure, the assault on his character, trying to assassinate his character after they assassinated his person, but how they're going to have to grieve in the public's eye. his mother is going to get his body back to the funeral home for the first time today. So she's dealing with that all the time, while we expect there to be some announcement whether they're going to charge the officer or not. So Philonis and Rodney and Brandon, the brothers of George Floyd, were just trying to explain to them, no matter what, you have a good support system, and every day you just try to breathe. You just try to breathe because there's no right or wrong in this. There's nothing fair about this.
Do you think that Derek Chauvin will or should take the stand?
Well, as an attorney, Gayle, we will always defer in a criminal matter, never to let your client take the stand. But normally, if your client takes the stand, it is a desperate effort to try to make sure that he is somehow exonerated. So that's the only way and the only reason I would see him taking the stand, that they feel desperate.
Yeah, well, conversation for another day. These stories keep repeating. We now have another name added to the hashtag list. I'm tired of reporting them. I'm sure you're tired of trying them, being involved in it. We have to talk about systematic police reform and really acknowledge that there's a problem in this country with the black community and the police. And most police do their job and do it well. And it's heartbreaking to me, Ben, that we have to keep having the same conversation over and over and over again, and nothing changes.
Gayle, I cannot believe we're in 10 miles of where Derek Chauvin is being tried for killing George Floyd.
Yep.
It is. I can't fathom that a police officer killed another unarmed black man.
Yep.
You would think during this time they would use the greatest standard of care.
Yes.
They would do everything to de-escalate. So I'm just heartbroken and shocked.
Yeah, and that's why this is also troubling. Thank you, Ben Crump. I know that we'll talk again. Thanks a lot for your time today.